Colin Beattie, the former SNP treasurer, has said that he was late declaring the loan of £107,000 from Peter Morrell, Nicola Sturgeon's husband, which went some way to clearing the debt for the disappearing £600,000, which had been donated by SNP followers to pay for a further independence referendum. Colin Beattie has said that he was late filing this claim because he couldn't work the computer. Well, there's two things which I think are important here. Number one, computers are becoming increasingly complex, particularly official computer systems, and they are almost impossible to negotiate if you don't do it on a regular basis. And anybody who's tried to fill in government computer forms will know how frustrating they are, and how one's heart sinks at the thought of filling them in. And maybe people who are younger can deal with this. People who are older, it's tough. I'm entirely in sympathy with him, but surely that's his job. Surely that's his job. And that's why I employ an accountant when I can, because I don't think I can follow all this nonsense. My eyes glaze over halfway through the process and I've lost interest. But that's not my job. If it's supposed to be our job to do the job of an accountant, we don't need an accountant. And if the government makes things so complicated and makes these systems so difficult to follow, then frankly, the government needs to simplify stuff. There was a campaign a few years ago for clear English, and I think maybe we need something similar for computing, clear computing, to go along with clear English. Instead, we have a world where there's a code for everything, where there's a language for a particular department, and I don't understand that unless I work in that department. When I was a teacher, I just despaired of some of the forms which I was expected to fill out as a routine, and nobody gave me any advice. And it was extraordinary how people assumed that I knew how to manage ISAMs, for example. Why should I? And these things are not clear. They're not straightforward, unless you do them on a regular basis every single day. And then maybe they make some sense, but I have sympathy for Colin Beattie, except for the fact that was his job. So, the excuse that Humza is giving for not suspending Nicola Sturgeon is that he didn't suspend Colin Beattie. Colin Beattie resigned. And maybe he expects Nicola Sturgeon to fall on her sword in a similar way that Colin stopped being treasurer. I don't know how many swords Nicola Sturgeon has got to fall on. But Humza is saying, well, personally painful, a long-standing friendship, and I'll not suspend Nicola's membership. I'll treat her in the same way as I've treated, for example, Colin Beattie. Those that have been released without charge, I see no reason to suspend their membership. Well, except for the idea of Caesar's wife. Caesar's wife must be above suspicion, and those people we have elected to power as our politicians, I think it's not a matter of them being guilty or not guilty, it's a matter of them being above suspicion. These are the people who are making our laws. In this instance, I think, Humza, much though I like you, you're wrong.